done, and thank you for taking that to the post
Yeah, I'll
office.
do that now. I'll take them inside.
I would.
And,
For a bulk like that, it's good to just
Yeah.
get them into their things, then they'll be safe.
all right, well, we'll see you on Sunday morning.
Thank you. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Faith-Filled Friday. Let's see what time it is. I have 1 minute to wait. It's always good, as you know, for me to come on a little bit early and allow news and information to get out that we're actually online. I'm going to check off my iPad to see if I'm actually projecting. Excuse me for a moment. While I check on technology and try to understand technology. Ah, it's there. We're there. Good morning, Laurel. Good morning, Laura. Okay, there. Let me try to raise this a little bit. Oh, oh Lord. Hang on, excuse my hand. There. Better. All right. Well, it's noon here where I am. So welcome everybody to another edition of Faith-Filled Friday. I am Pastor Steve Meldy from Christ Presbyterian Church in Tucson, Arizona, where it's gonna be chilly today. I think it's only going up to 80. Brr. Sorry, I just had to. I just had to. All right, ready? Ready? Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. One of my favorite hymns is We Gather Together. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. Holy smokes, I picked a low key on that. How about we gather together to ask the Lord's blessing? Wait a minute. Why is it we gather? Is it so that we can catch the latest football game? So that we can stuff ourselves beyond the caloric intake that we should have for a week? Is it so that we can imbibe in too much red wine? Is it so that we can get irritated with family that we don't see very often? Is it that we can miss family that we haven't seen in a long time? Methinks the hymn writers know a lot about faith. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. That's why we're there. We're there giving thanks to God for the life that we have. I hope, altruistically, that in the beginning of Thanksgiving, that's what it was meant to be. To celebrate the harvest before the cold winter came, particularly on the East Coast. And we kind of hunkered inside for months. I think sometimes we forget. We forget what Thanksgiving was created for. It was created for a day that we really turn to God and give thanks. How amazing it is that our country is still willing to celebrate that. People aren't really arguing about that, are they? But we've gotten distracted from its true meaning. Hi, Kate. Nice to see you. Laura Cambridge, nice to have you. Yolanda, always good to see you online, all the way down. Kathy Green, how great to have you. I know, Kate, miss chatting in the office, but it's nice to be able to chat online. And hey, folks, the hymn writer is I think correct and onto something important and puts it right out there in the beginning of the hymn. We gather together. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. And that's what we need to be doing. And I hope that in this week prior to Thanksgiving, that you're finding ways to give thanks and to ask the Lord's blessing on your thankfulness. And not just for yourself, but for all. It's so interesting to see all of the news media and all sorts of shapes and sizes warning us about all the shortages. And if you want something, you better get it now. Which means, of course, it'll be gone by next week, right? So the shortage won't go away. It's just a matter of whoever can get there fastest, which has always been the rule anyway, right? We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. Have you forgotten that? Let's not forget it this year. We need to remember. The second verse I love too. Beside us to guide us, our God with us joining, ordaining, maintaining his kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning, thou, Lord, wast at our side, all glory divine, or be thine, sorry. The hymn writer in the second verse is reminding us that, kind of like the other hymn, This Is My Father's World, that though the wrong seems oft so strong, God is the ruler yet. I will remind you in the midst of Thanksgiving that can sometimes be very difficult for us. God is still in control. And it is God to whom we turn. It is God to whom we give our thanks. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. I hope that'll happen for you. Rebecca, nice to see you. Laura Thompson, nice to see you. I don't know, I love our hymn book. I love our hymn writers. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessing. I've just been thinking more and more about it. I think we're singing it on Sunday in the 10:45 service. I hope you sing it yourself. The message today for Faith-Filled Friday is to beware of why you gather. And make sure it's to ask the Lord's blessing and to give God thanks for the blessings that God has already given us. May it be so. Take a little moment on Thanksgiving Day and say thank you to God in your prayer. Keep your focus. Be people of faith. And enjoy the overabundance of turkey or the wine or the candied yams, which are the best. The time to just relax and watch a football game or whatever it is you're going to do. Make sure you take your moments to give God thanks and to seek God's blessings in your lives. Grace and peace to you this week before Thanksgiving. This is Pastor Steve from Christ Presbyterian Church in Tucson, Arizona. Hope you'll join me on Sunday, 8:30 and 10:45 Tucson time. Grace and peace to us all. Bye, folks.